Welcome back, everybody. Really good to be back with Amir and Jared, and we have a special guest today, Alex Marzell. We are very excited for tonight's topic. I've been waiting for this one. It's all about crypto and the future of money tonight. Alex, we're very happy to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit more about your channel? I believe you have over 40,000 subscribers. It's really interesting. What did you what got you first of all into crypto? And can you tell us a little bit more about
that? Thank you for having me on. Amir, Jared, thanks. It's a pleasure. So I've got a channel called Marzell Money. You can call me Alex Marzell, whatever you like. The channel's called Marzell Money. It's basically a technical analysis channel where I follow the charts, mainly Ethereum actually. It's my preferred coin, but also Bitcoin and some of the alts as well. And so I started the channel about 18 months ago. Currently, I think last time I checked, it's about 45,000 subs. I basically make daily technical analysis videos, price predictions, going over.
You just said 18 months.
Yeah, I started the channel about 18 months ago.
Wow, you're doing really great.
Yeah, YouTube's a funny business. I mean, I think it took me about nearly a year to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then it kind of starts snowballing a bit if you're putting out the consistent content and you get a following. So, but yeah, it's growing steadily now, and obviously my channel's success depends on what the crypto market's doing. So I have to put it down to kind of the bull market we had over the last 18 months as well, which certainly helped. But it's been an interesting journey.
Right.
Yeah.
And what exactly got you first into crypto? Did you have did you work with basically the future of money, technologies, anything like that?
Kind of, yeah. The person that actually first introduced me to cryptocurrency was a guy called Adam. Shout out to Adam, Jason. I worked in fintech just for a little while. After a couple of other careers in technology. For example, I worked for Groupon when they kind of launched in London. So I was around quite techie people, quite finance savvy people. And I heard about Bitcoin back in, I think it was 2014. Admittedly, I did buy some, but I didn't hold on to it. I remember actually I bought like $300 of Bitcoin, and it doubled in a couple of months. And I was like, that's amazing. I've just made $300. I wasn't making huge money.
But in 2014, how much was it like?
It was
like 20.
It was like in the low hundreds, like a couple hundred, 300, something like that. And I sold it, and it went into a bear market. I forgot about it, and it wasn't really properly until sort of 2016, 2017, I got back into it. But yeah, I come from a bit of a sales background, fintech background. So it's always been there from its adoption, but it only really stuck with me from like properly in around 2016, 2017.
All right. And well, here's some question like probably a lot of people are wondering. Why crypto? What's the big deal? Why are we having so much talk about it? How would you?
Well, throughout the times, Aboud, we've had different revelations in the world. Like you could go back to the Industrial Revolution when it was like the railroads. Then we had electricity, or it might not be in that order, and then we had the communication age where they brought in the telephone, the radio, the color television. Even before that, black and white. Then it was the internet, and quite frankly, I think the next period of time is decentralized finance and ownership over our own money. The reason why crypto has been such a value add to society and will continue to do so, I believe, is because of the fact that it's a trustless technology. When you have blockchain technology, which is actually the valuable thing. Everybody gets excited. Bitcoin's going to the moon. Ethereum's going to the moon. I'm going to make loads of money. But actually, what gives it value in the first place initially is the fact that you've got a technology which is decentralized. You don't need a third party like a government or a bank ruling it.
Right.
You're giving people access to the money, and you have to imagine, well, not imagine, but I guess understand that most of us here, I guess, living in the Western world, we all have banks. It's easy to have these things, but about 70% of the world's population are unbanked. They don't have access to banking. They don't have access to easy finance like we do. And cryptocurrency is giving ownership and money back to the people. You simply just need a smartphone or a laptop and an internet connection, which is much more ubiquitous than banks.
Right.
So
Now,
it's an empowering tool.
Amazing. Now, you say that it's like crypto is about basically not needing a third party in a sense. And it does that by, well, we can say blockchain, right? I think this is the territory where people who have never heard about crypto starts like going a little bit, sideways. If you could like talk like in a summary about blockchain, what could you say about it? Like in a bit?
Yeah. So blockchain is a technology that essentially allows a protocol, which is in this case, let's say Bitcoin, which is the cryptocurrency most people know, but you have several different blockchains. Some of you may have heard of Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, Matic. They're all blockchains.
Dogecoin.
Now, Dogecoin, actually, no. Dogecoin is a token and it runs on the Ethereum. It runs on the Ethereum network. A lot of people don't realize that about 90% of crypto actually runs on the Ethereum network. And it's one of the main reasons I'm most into Ethereum, but I guess we can talk about that later. But in terms of blockchain technology, essentially what it's doing, what the program is doing, it's making very, very complex calculations all the time, which is being worked out by many, many thousands of computing programs all over the world. And
like mining. And
this is mining. Yeah, this is essentially what mining is. It's called mining, but really what these computers are doing is unscrambling. They're unscrambling code that was originally written into the protocols. And every so often, depending on which blockchain it is, you're getting blocks being distributed. And this is what gives the decentralized finance kind of regulation in the fact that it can be deflationary. So where you've got fiat currency like dollar, pound, sterling, shekels, whatever you want to call it, they're all losing value all the time through the printing of money, stimulus.
right.
And when you've got something like Bitcoin, where there can only ever be 21 million, and currently there's about 18 million in circulation, they're not printing them. It's a deflationary, it's a hard money, very much like gold. And this is, I guess, where the coin mining comes from.
There's a limited supply.
The limited supply, it's not infinite, it's finite. And it means that when something's scarce, when something's divisible, when it's transferable, every quality that Bitcoin has, like gold, in fact, may be better because it's so much more transferable for this modern world. You can send money like an email address. It fits in nicely with the kind of digital gold dub it's been given. So this is what blockchain can do. That is the benefit of it, that it can be a completely decentralized, trustless protocol that doesn't require any bank or issuer to kind of interfere along the way and say have any kind of bias interest on what's happening with money, the time it takes, the money that's charged on it. And the fact
that's like, sorry, you can.
I was just saying the fact that if you're buying Bitcoin, you know that there can only ever be 21 million of them. If you're saving dollars, I mean, you're losing 15%. The Fed currently have 7.5% interest token on their debt, but really it's about 15%. If you measure inflation like they did in the 80s when my parents were buying their properties and stuff like that, then it's real inflation rates are running at like 15%. So you might be gaining 1% in the bank, which is terrible anyway. but you're actually losing about 14% of your purchasing power every year because of the printing of money. So Bitcoin, like gold, very much like gold, is a hedge against that. Of course, in the short term, it's a new asset. It's in its infancy and very much can fluctuate, and you can lose a lot of your purchasing power. So this is one of the things that I talk a lot about on my channel, and in the academy, we have the Trading Academy, where we teach people how to kind of manage their investment strategy, whether it's long-term or short-term, because they're very different.
Right.
Yeah. But also I want to get onto a point with the scarcity of Bitcoin. We run into the same issue as to why we left the gold standard in the first place. Like, part of the reason why we use fiat is because it allows us to make more wealth. You know, because like if there's only so much in the world, then that it hampers economic growth because people just can't, create more. There's only so much gold out there. There's only so much Bitcoin, and
yeah,
it's part of the same reason why we stopped doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I was reading about this the other day, actually. Quite interesting. You mentioned that. I think Richard Nixon, 71. He decoupled the dollar from the gold standard because of the problems they were having, basically not being able to grow the economy fast enough. So that's why they did it. But it's actually been going on before then. If you go back to kind of Victorian time Britain, when you got coins, they were silver coins. They were full silver coins. And as time went on, the first form of money printing was actually debasing the metal. And in about 1940, they started mixing half the coins with silver and half with whatever nickel or whatever low-grade metal they do. And now all coins are just made out of nickel, like cheap metals. So yeah, they brought in cash to obviously help grow the economy, but also as a way of helping transactions happening faster. And but yeah, no, growing the economy would definitely be the first and foremost part of it. But going back to what we were talking about initially with the transactional, I think we were talking off air, Amir, about Bitcoin being a transactional competitor, and could it potentially be a competitor to the dollar? And I was basically saying, well, I don't think it needs to be, and I don't think it will be. I don't see it as needing to be a currency in that sense. I see it more as a store of value. There are other cryptocurrencies about that could do a much better job at being transactional. They're quicker and cheaper. Bitcoin's slow and expensive, but
XRP maybe.
Well, I'm very pro Ripple XRP. I think.
Me too. Nice. We'll
I
talk
think,
about it then.
I mean, it already has so many of the big banks on its books.
True.
And it's a sleeping giant. I mean, we haven't heard.
Can you let the audience know a little bit about XRP? Because I think it's a nice basically Bitcoin. We do know that mining Bitcoin does consume a lot of energy. We do know that transactions are a little bit slower. I mean, from my research, I noticed that XRP is just like much faster, right?
Yeah. Bitcoin. I'll go into XRP, but just for the audience, I guess. Bitcoin is like the most secure network. It's been around the longest. It's never been hacked, and it's you've got something called hash rate, which we'll lead into with XRP. Like, hash rate is basically the measurement of the security of the network. So although the coin price fluctuates, it's actually never been a better form of what Bitcoin is. It's the strongest it's ever been. And XRP is not on the same security level as Bitcoin, but
it's not running on Ethereum, right?
No, Ripple is its own
coin
blockchain. It's its own ledger. So Ripple is amazing for speed and for fees. I mean, I've used XRP before to send to basically like colleagues and also to friends and whatever.
You actually used it?
Yeah, I use it. I mean, I've got about 10 people that I work with that help me run various parts of the business, and I normally pay them in XRP, or if it's not, it's in stablecoin in USDT, which is similar in the sense of its speed. But Ripple hasn't had the limelight like a lot of the other cryptocurrencies over the past 18 months in the bull market because of what's been happening with the SEC. So the SEC,
Lawsuit.
there's a big lawsuit, and they're basically being challenged over if it's a security or if it's an asset or it's a currency. And the SEC have extremely little chance in winning this case. I mean, you could almost say it's done, but it's not done officially. When the news eventually comes out that XRP is moving forward, it will, but it will only take a couple of the banks that they're already working with to come out and say we're using the Ripple ledger. The problem with the banking system is that SWIFT, which is the current standard, SWIFT, BIC, IBAN, that it's not an efficient way. It's expensive and it's slow. I don't know if anyone here has tried to send money across just from your high street bank to another bank, but it will take a few days.
Yeah, it takes a minute.
Yeah,
it's almost like we're using a really old financial system, right? And XRP might
be the new one.
In a sense.
Yeah, we are using an old system. I mean, if you can send an email to someone, which you have been able to do for 30 years, there's no reason why you can't send money in an instant. If you go onto a PayPal account, you can say PayPal in an instant. The banking system is so outdated and so monopolized in how they do it. And the only reason they do it that way is to make money, because they're holding your money for longer. They've got trading desks. They're doing whatever
they want those transaction fees and
the FX fees on. They're making billions of dollars a year from transaction fees. But yeah, I mean, Ripple is, in my opinion, going to be a 3-digit asset. And for anyone that doesn't know, it's trading at 40 cents at the moment.
It's crazy when you say 3-digit asset, because I would really love that. I have a small investment in Ripple, but when you look at the market cap, it needs to be pretty high to reach 3 digits, if you know what I mean.
It would, but bear in mind the whole crypto market is growing, and I don't think Bitcoin will remain the headline, the biggest market cap cryptocurrency for much longer. I think within the next bull market, Ethereum may overtake it.
As I say, people are getting tired of Bitcoin.
There are some Bitcoin skeptics, but Bitcoin should be compared to as a store of value. It's like a digital gold, and gold isn't the most valuable commodity there is. There's much more valuable commodities. I mean, if we go into
platinum.
some real, well, I just mean in terms of platinum is more expensive, but in terms of use cases, you'd much if you were in some kind of real recession or some kind of apocalypse, a lump of gold's not going to help you, but wheat, corn, cocoa, coffee, and oil are going to be much more valuable in that sense. But it all comes down to the dollar situation and the world economic situation. If they continue to print, which they will because they have to, if interest rates still remain the way they do, gold and Bitcoin will carry on performing. But I don't think Bitcoin will be the biggest crypto by market cap forever.
It's almost like it introduced a concept, almost like the first smartphones that came out or something. At some point, the big
Bitcoin could be Nokia. Perhaps.
It brought up the concept, but you need a new thing.
Ethereum could be BlackBerry, and then something else is going to come along and be the iPhone. That probably is a good way of looking at it potentially.
The thing is, Alex, with regards to crypto and the market itself, we obviously know that it's huge and it's becoming more and more popular around the world. And like you said, it's very accessible in the sense that you only need a laptop or a computer to access it. What do we do about the powers that be that don't like the way that it's influencing the market, and the big banks and the big investors and governments that seem to be fighting against crypto? And we've seen a lot of laws in certain countries.
Joe Biden just asked for some regulation, I think.
What do we do about these kind of predicaments?
I mean, for crypto to have any kind of longevity and being taken seriously, you know, in the more mid-long term, I think regulation is actually an important part of its growth.
Yeah.
Like, for example, in Canada, there's an ETF. They were talking about bringing in an ETF in the States, which is basically like, for anyone that doesn't know what an ETF is, it's kind of like an exchange-traded fund. You've got one for gold, you've got one for oil, you've got one for silver, and all different types of commodities. And it's basically like paper trading. And the reason why that's important is because it opens up the world to institutional investment and foreign investment. So with regard to Bitcoin as a serious asset class, there are skeptics, and like any new innovation, there's always going to be two sides, you know, pro and for, and there's always going to be that bit in the middle. I think what it comes down to, though, is the point of regulation. I think that will be an important part of its growth, Amir. Because if we get more regulation in the space, and you're seeing countries do that already, like in India, in Turkey, they've legalized it and said we're crypto friendly, but they're taxing it. So yeah, I mean that's kind of what you're seeing. The same thing in the cannabis sector as well, right? Like over the last couple of years, cannabis is being legalized in quite a lot of places throughout the world because they're recognizing it as you know, a legitimate medicine or leisure or whatever, however you know choose to use cannabis if you're a cannabis user. But like they want the taxation on it. Cryptocurrency, the problem with it, okay, is it is at the moment the wild west in terms of the amount of altcoins and
thousands, yeah.
There's like 16,000 cryptocurrencies, and that won't stand. That can't stand. There's too many people losing money and getting ripped off and conned, and there is obviously a dark side to crypto, right? But you know, I think you will come out of it. You will get maybe 10, 20 big projects that are here to stay, and they're the ones that will go through regulation in some way, shape, or form. So if there's naysayers, it's like anything, you know, throughout history, you're always going to get people for and against kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Also, I want to go on a quick tangent about something because before I run out of time, because I got another 15 minutes before I got to go to school. The environmental concerns with crypto, with the, you know, basically the technology behind crypto, because in this day and age, it does seem like it is extremely wasteful. I mean, like there's like,
you mean like mining, Jared?
Well, I mean, like mining and the amount of energy it takes to just run the calculations needed to do these things. Like they've estimated that like a single Bitcoin transaction is like the equivalent of 3 families worth of carbon output, like 3 American families. And like in this day and age, it just seems like it's not like we need to be more concerned about that. Because I mean, like, how my home state could be swallowed up by the river within 20 years.
Yeah.
You know?
See, that's why I like XRP.
And it's just like I hear a lot of people say, well, you know, like they're always improving the technology, like things will get better. Like relying on the future to fix our now problems is kind of the reason why we are where we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm honest, I can't speak too much about the subject because I haven't done too much research and I'm not too knowledgeable on it. But I know there are certainly concerns about the effects it has on the planet for the mining. What I do know, however, is that a lot of the mining around the world, or a big percentage of it, is in areas of the world that are using renewable energy, like Canada and Iceland and Finland and Russia, where they have this.
It is banned in China, though, right? I think
it is banned in China. Yeah, it is banned in China. But I do know there are countries mining it, but they're using renewables. They're using energy from their you know, I think in Iceland they have like, I don't know the correct term, but the heat that they get from the ground and their whole
geothermal.
Geothermal,
little
thank
tidbit.
you. Yeah. I mean, their whole country runs on geothermal energy.
I remember I used to run my computer to mine, and like when I used to come to my room in summer, it would be like pretty hot. Just one computer could make my whole room would be hot.
Abood's the reason why we live in a desert. It has nothing. It has nothing to do with the natural environment. It's just Abood.
Yeah. And I think there definitely is concerns about the effects that it has. And I mean, you know, it's not cryptocurrency, Bitcoin mining alone. There's many concerns all, you know, in many different industries, like in aviation and fishing, and it's a big subject and an important one. But if I'm entirely honest, I just don't know enough about the stats to really comment on it.
We might find like a way to make chips less energy demanding to mine it at some point. But
yeah, possibly.
Elon Musk also talked about it. You know, he bought Bitcoin, but then and then like started saying like Tesla accepts Bitcoin, and then out of nowhere he says not anymore because it affects the environment.
Well, that's also one of the things that we need to start regulating, is because like there's no part of the regulations is like there's no regulations on how you can use it. And Elon's done this for like a couple of things. He's done it for NFTs too, where he will mention something, and because he's a big important financial guy, the value of it shoots up, but he buys it before he mentions it, and then sends it up, and sells it off, and then after that, you know, he brings the value back down by talking shit on it. It's one of those things that needs to be regulated. He didn't do anything illegal, but like, because if he did that with like a real world currency or asset, that would be illegal. I don't know if it's classified as insider trading.
Well, I think his tweets. Quite frankly, I think he just enjoys the entertainment of it. And I don't even think it's for financial gain. I mean, it's when he owned. In fact, Tesla do own Bitcoin on their balance sheet, right? But the amount of Bitcoin they own compared to their overall balance sheet is so minimal. It's something like under 1% of their company's net worth. Obviously, that's still a lot of money, but in terms of the value of Tesla, you know, it's very insignificant. But you know, like I just think when it comes down to his tweets and everything, like he's not the only reason why people could see it as insider trading is because of the huge following he has. Like, he's not going and saying buy this, buy that. He'll literally tweet a picture of like a Shiba Inu pup, and that's it. And then people go crazy, like, oh, I'm going to buy Shiba, I'm going to buy Shiba.
I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. People see like, oh, they think it's gonna, like, people are like hyped about it, so I better, like, you know, climb on the train before
something about it.
It's like the meme coin thing, isn't it? Like,
I have a cat.
True.
Yeah, the meme coin thing just went crazy, and you're not buying an asset based on it being valuable. You're just basically buying it based on the fact that it's the bigger fool theory. Like, you buy something hoping that someone else is going to buy it for more, and it's similar with the NFT space right now. So, you know, I don't even classify clause. I don't even classify Bitcoin like in the same category as some of these like altcoins and NFTs. Right? Like, that cryptocurrency as an industry, as a topic, has expanded, and there's lots of different facets to it. So
I do see like a huge correlation between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoins. Like, whenever Bitcoin goes up or down, all the altcoins, boom, go down.
Yeah.
However, I don't know if you noticed, Alex, 2 days ago, most of the market was down, but XRP was kind of making weird moves. Did you see that? Was I the only one who's seeing that?
Yeah. XRP. They yes and no that they will correlate. Some of these altcoins do kind of go on their own road. Sometimes they have their own views and fundamentals.
True.
But ultimately, though, make no doubt about it, if Bitcoin's going to reach these much lower targets, which this year I think it will, XRP could still suffer in the short term, even though it's got such big upside, because it's a whole deleveraging event. These people that have their money in stocks, in crypto, people get scared, they sell, prices go down. But yeah, I mean, they do kind of correlate sometimes, and other times they don't.
True. I mean, I think like at this point in the podcast, we want to make a disclaimer. We do not provide any financial advice.
No.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. We're all
Please, ladies and
idiots.
gentlemen, do not lose what you cannot afford. Thank you.
Of course. But it is. I think it's an exciting, time. It's definitely something that we talked about it. The financial system is just constantly changing, and I don't think we're having one where everyone is happy yet. I don't know when will we do it.
Well, I think it's impossible to make everyone happy. The goal is really to just make as many people as as okay as possible. You get what I mean?
True. And also the metaverse. I think a lot of people are hyped about it, so it's getting involved with crypto. So who knows where that is going? Jared is saying, "Nah, he's not."
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the metaverse. I feel I'm very skeptical of a lot of these new cyberspace, I guess you could say, like things or technologies. Because part of the reason is like, while we can do a lot with the internet and all the technologies and ideas and ways of living that are derived from it, at the end of the day, we don't live on the internet. We live in the real world, and the things that we do and base our lives off of, they have to be based in the real world, at least to some degree. It's why I don't get like the Facebook metaverse thing. Like, I can't live my life on the computer. I can't live it in VR. I have to live here on Earth,
Yeah. I think it depends if it's crypto led or gaming led. So what I mean by that is so many projects over the last 12, 18 months started by people in the crypto space that just wanted to basically make a moon coin, like pump and dump fake coins, altcoins. Oh, it's the next big game, it's the next big metaverse, but really it's just some crappy project behind a shoddy team, and it's not really anything with much utility. However, on the other side, you do have a few titles that actually come from a gaming background and I'll bring in crypto into it. So you've got like the Sandbox, you've got Decentraland, you've got
something like Axie.
OxyContin?
Maybe.
Not sure if I know. Not sure if I heard that. There's another
Xfinity, something like that.
Yeah, there's AXS. Yeah, there's another one coming out called Bullaverse, which is, I mean, some of these projects have like teams behind them that come from like EA and Activision Blizzard, and they're serious gaming teams basically, and all they're essentially doing is that gaming's gone through different cycles. Like, it used to be the sort of the pay to play system, where you would either, like FIFA, for example, like you have to buy kind of packs and stuff like that, or you have to buy stuff.
Almost like DLCs in many ways.
Yeah, and now we're getting to the stage where it's like play to earn. So you can actually like play within these games for real money. You can play against other players. You can build assets within these games. So if you picture like a GTA, most people are familiar with Grand Theft Auto. Like, you could essentially build your own car using software within the game. And then if someone found that valuable within the game, you could sell it for real money, crypto, in the native coin of that currency, and obviously take that money onto an exchange and then into real money. So
are we talking about NFTs here or not yet?
Then NFTs are kind of, and it's, so by the way, NFTs don't just have to be like art, like a pump. It can be a game, it can be a soundtrack, it can be an album, it can be the deeds on a house. Like an NFT, non-fungible token, is basically a decentralized contract and ownership and proof of ownership over something locked and baked into the cake of the blockchain.
The digital world, basically.
Digital world, exactly, metaverse. So I think we are still so far from, and I don't even know if we will merge into this kind of like virtual world, because we're humans, we live on planet Earth, like Jared's saying.
Yeah.
But I do think that gaming is huge, and I think people will definitely immerse themselves deeper into gaming with whatever that entails, and I think that that's where I see the metaverse going.
Well, fellas, on that note, I'm gonna need to start heading out, but before I do, let me just do a bit. Hold on. Turn the mic up. There you go, Cat.
What, are you doing the roll? The purr?
Yeah, she's just sat on me purring, so I just thought everybody would hear that because it's cute.
Do I hear it? I don't think so.
Alex, we do have a question here in the comment, more of a statement, but
Oh no, I can hear it. Anyway.
I'll lead into a question.
Okay.
Somebody says here, the problem I see with all of these is the lack of usability of it in everyday life for it to be anything other than savings, other than a savings thing, right? So, I think what he's saying here is right, and it's exactly what you were saying, that it's less of a day-to-day transactionable currency, but more of like an investment, like gold.
Yeah.
But my thing is if it were to be a currency that was used daily, and you were to say have a Bitcoin debit card alongside your normal debit card, where you could use it for certain transactions and maybe earn points, or I don't know, have some type of reward scheme behind that, surely then it could really be a game changer, like an absolute game changer, and really take over.
So what you're describing, in fact, does exist. There's plenty of different providers that have credit card, debit cards for your crypto that you can use to actually spend your crypto. It converts it into fiat. Like you've got Nexo Bank, you've got BlockFi, for example, some of the big ones. Crypto.com in the UK is one of the biggest ones. And internationally, I mean, Crypto.com are actually huge. They just took a sponsorship with Paris Saint-Germain. And you can do that. The problem is using Bitcoin as Bitcoin for a currency is the price fluctuates a lot based on the dollar amount. So if you're still going by a dollar reserve, which we are and the world is, then you're always gonna peg it to that. Even gold, like, it's much less volatile than Bitcoin, but you still couldn't use it as a means of exchange on anything.
People use it for beauty or some electronic chips, maybe something like that. But other than that,
some utility purpose. But anyway,
what, gold?
I need to,
bye, Jared.
I was gonna say I need to
Jared.
go.
Take
Bye,
care.
everybody.
See you later,
Sorry, audience, but I gotta go. Bye.
Bye.
See you, dude. Yeah, I mean, to answer that question as well, like, they're right in what they're saying. At this moment in time, there isn't much transactional need for cryptocurrency because we have fiat currency, and we probably will have fiat currency for the foreseeable, or for a long time. Yeah, there's big skeptics in the world that say, oh, the dollar's going to zero, because the US dollar is in a situation where their debt to GDP is at an all-time high. They have more debt than they have GDP. They're in like $30 trillion of debt. Only in the last 18 months, they created more money than they have like ever. Like, it's a bad situation, but all that's going to do is devalue the currency. They're going to print and print and print. And you will eventually get to a stage where the dollar value becomes less and less and less. And you're going to get a situation, potentially worst case, like you did like in Germany in like the Weimar Republic, when people needed inflation, inflation, like super inflation, where you needed like a wheelbarrow full of money to buy. But we're in this digital world now as well, so there's no reason why the Fed couldn't create like a Fed coin, like a government coin. So what will have to happen at some point is some kind of recovery in the financial system, and that might mean going back on the gold standard, because we're just printing. You can't do that forever, because you're going to be in a situation where one week, if I agree with you, say you're let's just say I have a cleaner, and every week I pay my cleaner $50. If the next week that $50 is worth only $25, and the week after it's only worth $12.50 in terms of value, this is the same with what's happened in Venezuela in the last few years. It's happening on Argentina. This is no like new thing. This has happened in history many times, and it's guaranteed to happen with fiat currencies. The only reason that America hasn't succumbed to this type of battering in their currency is because it's the reserve currency of the world, and it's the petrol dollar, it's the gold dollar, and as long as the states can withhold that reserve currency label, and as long as people use it, then they'll always be able to inflate it and create debt out of it. But the problem is you've got other powers around the world, like China, for example, which have the fastest growing middle class, and they could be the new reserve currency and reserve power of the world in the next 50 years, because we're thinking, sure, we've only been on the planet, us guys, around 30 few years, whatever, but throughout history, you've had different empires. You've had the British Empire, you've had the Dutch, you've had the Ottoman Empire, you've had different empires throughout the history of time in the short time humans have been here, which is like that in comparison to the world. And America and the dollar won't be here forever. And when they're not, something will implode. And of course, you'll need something like a tangible physical money, which is going to be gold, or currency backed by gold, or backed by something, maybe backed by Bitcoin. No one knows the extent of when that implosion will happen.
Or Shiba Inu.
Or by Shiba Inu, yeah, that's one way of getting into it. But Bitcoin, for anyone that's kind of skeptical about it being of real value, it's as valuable as anything else someone deems valuable. Money doesn't have to be currency. Money can be bartering. It could be me doing a favor for you. It could be me giving you my phone and you giving me an old laptop. It's just a means of exchange.
An exchange of
it's
value,
just a means of exchange. And as long as Bitcoin is devaluable, then it will be valuable. And it does, this is what it is.
Now, speaking of a bartering system, Alex, I don't know if this has come to your attention, but there are attempts out in the South Pacific, more specifically, I think in Vanuatu, to set up a small crypto community of around 20,000 people, where the currency will be based on a certain crypto. I don't know if they've decided which one they're going to use, and they're going to try and set up a new community over there, just based on cryptocurrency. And I wish them the best of luck, really. How do you feel about these types of projects, and can something work?
I think it's a good, why not? I mean, if you've got enough people to make a community, it can work. You've got places like El Salvador, where they've got their very famous Bitcoin beach, and there's a few places like this throughout the world that are making headlines and making waves. They're all just early beginnings and little speckles.
I've even saw an advertisement in Tel Aviv about, what was it? Not Shiba Inu, it was something else.
Flocky.
Floki. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, I've seen it in the airports. These projects, though, like, to be honest, like, okay, I don't want to give any kind of investment advice, but I don't trust projects like this, because anybody can create any kind of cryptocurrency.
Right. You don't know who created them, what team is behind them.
Yeah, and it's just marketing and influence. And I get, I have a YouTube channel. I get emails every day I've got this coin, I've got this blockchain, I've got this NFT. Can you promote it? Can you promote it? And there's no substance, there's no utility behind it.
Although I do see one of your videos do talk about Shiba Inu. Can you
so
tell us why
because
you like it a little bit?
I'm a technical trader, so if I see opportunity to make money off a trade, then it doesn't really matter what it is. Even if I don't believe in the utility and the long-term view of the coin, if I think it's going to go up or it's going to go down, I may comment on it. If I see value in a trade, then I'll comment on that. I've even owned Shiba Inu as well in my portfolio. Like I've done swing trading on some of these altcoins, but they're definitely not part of my long-term hodl. The only cryptocurrencies I hodl is Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano, and Matic. These are projects that I think have a good chance of withstanding the test of time. And I'd be surprised if they all did, but out of all the cryptocurrencies, these are the ones. And I own a few kind of metaverse projects like Sand from the Sandbox. Yeah,
really interesting. And there's also Mana for metaverse, I think.
Yeah, Mana, Decentraland. Yeah, another good one, another serious metaverse project.
It's really interesting. I also heard a little bit about Cardano. There's a huge team behind it, as I see, but it's been really stable in the last few years.
Yeah, Cardano is a really good project, and it's kind of following the footsteps of Ethereum, but essentially it's kind of one better in terms of technologically advancement, because if you think of like cryptocurrency in generations, like generation 1 we had Bitcoin, generation 2 we had Ethereum, and Ethereum was better than Bitcoin because it's a network, different cryptocurrencies can be bought on it, and it's basically all the faults that Bitcoin had in terms of it being slower and stuff like this, like Ethereum sort of made up for that. The problem with Ethereum is that it's proof of work blockchain mining technology. And the problem with proof of work is that it's very expensive. Like anyone that's tried to send or buy Ethereum based tokens, you've got gas fees and they're extremely high. So the next method, and generation 3, if you like, which Cardano is
there's no gas fees in Cardano, like really minimal.
There's network fees, but they're very minimal. And Cardano ADA is a proof of stake, so you basically have other stakers staking and earning rewards from buying it and holding it, and it's a different blockchain. But you do compromise on some other areas, which Cardano and have a big team and they're trying to work it out. I think Cardano's got a good chance of doing very well. But Ethereum is also working on kind of upgrading the network.
Was it Ethereum V2, something like that? I heard something about that.
Yeah, Ethereum 2, Ethereum 2.0. So, I mean, there's no project in the entire world, including all software, like even including like Windows, that has more developers on any given network in the world than Ethereum. Like more projects, dApps, digital apps, are being produced on the Ethereum blockchain more than anywhere in the entire world. So it's like, obviously DeFi is now huge as well. Like the whole
finance.
Yeah, like there's gaming, there's NFTs.
And DeFi is connected to staking, right? In some ways. I mean, you.
Yeah. Decentralized finance is basically lending, borrowing, yield farming. There's different areas of DeFi, which is growing all the time as well.
I see. So I think I want to leave the last few minutes for this question I had in mind, which is, so we do know that crypto is decentralized. I mean, at least Bitcoin, Ethereum. Does that mean that, for example, people who have like some kind of an evil idea in their mind, can they do these kinds of things because the government cannot exactly trace the transaction? Do you think that kind of like, probably it's a pretty frequent question, but I would like to Your
Well, you
opinion?
know, it is a frequent question, and it's one that actually surprises me often because with cryptocurrency, in fact, every transaction, although it can be anonymous, it's still every transaction that happens in any cryptocurrency is on the ledger. It's on the blockchain. It can't be
And
erased.
everyone can access it, or
Anyone can access it at any time.
oh, right. Okay.
It's completely yes, you can't see exactly who sent it. You can see the wallet address, but you can't necessarily find out. But the people, I get this question a lot. Oh, but you know, you can get criminals, terrorists doing this. The biggest power that any kind of someone up to no good or terrorist is cash. Cash is the most untraceable
Oh wow!
transaction.
Now that I think about it, yeah, it's
like why, you know, why when people say, oh, with crypto they can do this, well, cash,
well, you can do with cash, and
you know, it's the biggest thing for like drug deals and
I think because they connected to
child
dark web
trafficking and prostitution and all horrible types of dark places of the world is cash. That's the most untraceable means
right,
of
but I think they connected to the dark web, maybe.
Yeah, there is a dark web that definitely exists, and I'm sure cryptocurrency is playing its part. But I don't think you can blame the technology of cryptocurrency. You have to, like, there's always going to be bad people in the world, and you know, but before crypto, they were using you know, cash. Like, for example, you could say the internet's bad because there's a dark web, but we all know the power and what freedom and information technology that's given to the world as well. You could say plastics are bad because people can make explosives out of, like, do you know what I mean? I don't think the problem is with crypto. I think it's with individuals that are always going to be about.
Yeah, it's being scapegoated, isn't it, Alex? It's being scapegoated to be.
I think so, to an extent. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of naysayers in crypto. There's a lot of people that are skeptical because it's new, and they're, you know, whenever there's something challenging and new, you're always going to get people that don't understand it. They're scared of it, or they
see the main. Not to cut you off, Alex, but the main like one of the reasons why I just thought about it. This question is because I think Israel doesn't allow people in the West Bank to use it, if I'm not correct. I mean, there's like legality over it, some certain legality over it.
To use cryptocurrency?
I believe so. They're not, I mean, I don't know how can they trace that or even block them from doing that, but I do know that it's, at least it's illegal. I don't know if I'm wrong on that, but that's like what I heard about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, so Israel is, you'll know much more than me living there, and I guess being an Israeli citizen, but obviously you're talking about a country with heightened security in many areas. So anything that could potentially be a threat, I mean, I'm sure they take
good point,
quite seriously, and don't obviously want exposure to the inevitable if they let security down in certain situations. So, I mean, again, I don't think the issue is with crypto. It's just in that particular scenario, you know, they have certain security in place for the reasons they deem valid, you know.
True. I do wish, like, in 2010, if I like got a few hundred ones. I mean, that would that would have been interesting. Like, you probably heard about the guy who bought the pizza with Bitcoin, or the guy who, there was even a contest, like a gaming contest where, you know, top one would get $600, top two would get like $100, and then top three would get like 20 Bitcoins. That was 2010.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that.
And they got, I don't know if they sold it or not, but that would be unfortunate. You know what I mean? But I do see that it's definitely not an easy, quick, you know, rich. How do you call it?
Get rich quick scheme.
Get rich quick. Exactly. I don't see that as that. Some people do get lucky, I think, by buying some altcoins now that do get pumped in crazy amounts, but you have to be a little bit lucky sometimes. Or
I mean, that's the problem with the sort of whole crypto scene, particularly among retail investors. People see it as a means to get rich, and it's what causes this big fluctuation in the price as well, because you have a lot of leveraging. People are trading on different exchanges, not quite knowing what they're doing in some situations. And people are buying. They don't have a long-term mindset. They buy, they sell, they trade these cycles
like they're stocks or something.
Yeah, well, it's the same in stocks as well. People do the same. But really, in the best way to build like wealth in crypto is just to dollar cost average, buy it consistently, especially in the bear market. This is when people aren't actually interested. There's a saying where you can make money in a bull market, but you can get rich in a bear market. So
right.
you want to buy when no one's interested in it and people are scared.
Right. For those who are new to the bull market and bear market, can you explain like really fast?
Yeah. So markets have cycles, and you have a bull market, which is essentially where everyone's euphoric and everyone's excited and the prices are going up. And even if you buy at a bad price, you're still going to make money because the prices are just going up and up and up. There's a lot of leveraging, a lot of people excited. And a bear market is when prices start to decline and you have a bit of a...
People sell more.
Yeah, there's a sell-off, there's negativity, there's worry, there's concerns. People are scared that the prices are going rock bottom. And you have this kind of capitulation of just lower prices. And then people eventually either sell their whole holding
right.
or they, I don't know, but it's a time where you won't see Bitcoin in the headlines like you have over the last 18 months.
Right.
Alex, I was wondering, for people that are interested in trading cryptos, what's the kind of amount that you would recommend to get your foot in the door and to start off with, in terms of an amount for investing in the game?
Yeah, well, I always say to people that you should start with very little, because like anything, you're going to make mistakes, which is good because you learn from mistakes, and you don't need to make these mistakes with a lot of money. It's important to have just enough, so it's like skin in the game. But I don't mean like enough that you lose that could have an impact on your life. So it depends on you as an individual. But even if you're someone very wealthy, say if you're a multi-millionaire, I still wouldn't even recommend trading like hundreds of dollars, even though that would be nothing for a millionaire. I still recommend only trading $20 at a time. It's just, whilst you learn, you want to become consistent. If you can't be consistent, profitable and proficient with $20, you're not going to be able to do it with
$2,000. Invest what you can afford to lose.
Well, when you're learning, not even, because when you trade, even when you're like a learned trader, you're going to still lose money. Like, traders don't always make money. You have to lose as well. It's kind of part of the game. But when you're learning, you don't need a lot to start with. So even if you had $5, $10, $20, it really doesn't matter.
Can I buy like 1 million Shiba Inus and hope it gets to $1? Do you think that's possible?
You can do that. A million Shiba Inu dollars, a million Shiba Inu won't even be very expensive. Like
right now, it's like I don't know, $10 or $20.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, like what if anybody wants to have fun and they want a little gamble, a little fun, just speculation, then yeah, spend a teeny bit on Shiba Inu. I mean, the way I invest in crypto is it's all about diversification, right? First of all, diversifying crypto as your overall worth, whatever you're worth as a person. Don't put all your money in crypto. Too many people do that. They get excited. They put all their worth in crypto. The markets plummet. They get scared. They sell. And then obviously you need to split the crypto that you have up as well. Like, for example, myself, I've got like 30% in Bitcoin, about 35% in Ethereum, then the rest in ADA, Cardano, XRP, and then 5% on these highly speculative.
I do want to show the audience something that like talks a little bit about bear market and all these things. It's just the fear index. I'm pretty sure you know this.
Yeah. Fear and greed
Um,
index.
and
Yeah.
apparently we're in extreme fear right now. Do you think it's because of the regulations? So the market is in big fear, like people are afraid to invest. It's been a lot, but the extreme fear is on it.
The fear and greed index will basically account for slightly bigger time frame, in the sense of it could even be going back like the last couple of months. I know this is today's fear and greed index, but it doesn't just go up to 80 tomorrow if prices go up. So it's kind of taking a kind of a cohorted average of I think the last month, at least, maybe the last 2-3 months. So basically you want to buy when that reading is low. When that is fear, that's when you want to buy. When it's high, you want to be a seller, essentially, for your short-term holdings. But I think it's low right now because there is fear deriving from this geopolitical tension with what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine. Big topic right now. There's inflation looming. Pandemic, exactly. Omicron and everything going on with that. So there's reason to be fearful, but it can get a lot worse. I mean, that fear and greed index can go as low as like 4 or 5. I've seen it. So we're not really seeing blood in the streets. We're just seeing skepticism at the moment.
There's a concept in crypto known as what's it called? I think diamond hands. Is that the word? Diamond hands.
Or you can have
which means
hands.
like holding on, or paper hands.
Yeah, paper hands is when like you sell at any given dip, but diamond hands is like don't sell.
Diamond hands.
Yeah.
Right.
But
right, Alex, it's been. You want to say one more thing?
I was just going to say, like, it's important that people acknowledge that, like, you have a long-term investment mindset and a short-term. So, yeah, you can trade. So I'm a trader as well as a long-term investor, and I will trade the short-term, like the daily chart, the weekly chart. But I have a holding that even if it goes down 90%, I'm not selling. So it's important that you understand the two kind of strategies, investment strategies. They're very different.
Right. Definitely, people should do their research before getting into this world, because it's really volatile these days. All right, Alex, it's been really a nice conversation. I've been looking forward for like these kinds of like podcasts. Thank you for like giving me the opportunity.
Thanks to both of you, Mir and Abud, for having me on the pod on the channel. It's been great.
Absolutely. You're also welcome to visit us. I'm a tour guide here on Mount Gerizim. Talk about Samaritans and their history, and like try some foods we have. Like if you like tahini, we have a really good brand here.
Tahini. I like halva as well.
Oh, halva is heaven sometimes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we should definitely get you out here, Alex.
I'll be back in Israel soon. I've been in a few years, so
yeah, we'll get you out here, and you can bring Ems and the kids as well, and show them the nice lifestyle out here. Me and Abud are waiting for you.
Absolutely. All right. Would you like to say one more thing, Amir, Alex?
Yeah, I would just like to say thanks, Alex, for coming along. Obviously, long-time friends from back in the UK. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show. Anyone else that's interested more in crypto, Alex, the link to his channel is down below in the description. So please feel free. Oh, and in the title, yeah, definitely. So feel free to give him a shout. And thank you, Abud, for coming along for the ride today. It's a
good
pleasure
to be back.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be bringing more episodes in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I look forward to tuning in on some of them as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. Smash the like button. Share if you enjoyed it as well.
Definitely.
And thank you so much, guys, for having me on.
Thank you.
Our pleasure, Alex. Our pleasure.
See you later, guys. Have a nice one. Bye.